question time, guys. What do you think about when you hear the names Candace Parker, Tamika Catchings, Diana Taurasi, Lauren Jackson, Maya Moore? What do you think about? Maybe the word that you're probably thinking about is greatness, right? You think legend, greatness, GOAT. I suggest to you guys that we need to add another name to the list of all-time great women's basketball players in the WNBA. And her name is A'ja Wilson. Guys, let's get into it.
Quita Loves Sports. It is in the name.
Kelsey, that one over there, number 22, she means so much to so many people, especially on this team. Just tell us a little bit about how clutch she continues to be for you guys.
She's just a light. This is like the type of human being she is. Y'all, we really need to cherish what's happening live. I mean, unanimous MVP, but unanimous MVP as a human being. So I think for us, we got to celebrate legends as they play.
What is up, awesome people of the internet? Hope y'all are doing fantastic. I wanted to make this video because I want to acknowledge we are seeing greatness in real time. We are seeing the beginnings of who will go down as the GOAT in the WNBA and in terms of women's basketball in general. And her name is A'ja Wilson, guys. If you don't know who A'ja Wilson is, let me give you a quick backstory about her. She is a South Carolina native who decided to stay in her home state and attend South Carolina instead of going to the UConns or Tennessee or Notre Dame or any of the other big-time women's basketball programs. A'ja Wilson in 2014 decided to stay home and attend South Carolina. What did she do there? Well, she made history there. In her career, she averaged 17.3 points a game, 8.7 rebounds a game, and she really was the end-all, be-all for this team. She finished her senior year with averaging 22 points a game, 22.6 points a game, and 11.8 rebounds a game. A'ja Wilson, Player of the Year in college. She was a player who got South Carolina an elusive NCAA championship, and she was rewarded with that. She was rewarded by having a statue bearing her face. A'ja Wilson totally, in my opinion, transformed the way we see South Carolina. Yes, Dawn Staley is the coach, and yes, Dawn Staley's great, but you had to have people believe in the coach, right? Dawn had success at Temple and whatnot, and that was great. But she went over to South Carolina, and yeah, they were sort of building something. But A'ja Wilson, in my opinion, was the player that said, you know what? Yeah, we stand in South Carolina. Yeah, we're gonna make South Carolina a basketball powerhouse. And then look what South Carolina has turned into, right? But in my opinion, that sort of trajectory for South Carolina started with A'ja Wilson and her decision to not go anywhere else but stay in her home state and actually get her team to win a championship. I think it's absolutely huge. She is a player who is just the end-all be-all for all the teams that she's been on for South Carolina, and then when she was drafted number 1 by the Las Vegas Aces in 2018, guys. In 2018, she was drafted to the Aces. The Aces sucked. They were not very good. They were a bad team, and slowly but surely, A'ja Wilson did her thing, guys. As a rookie, guys, A'ja averaged 20.7 points a game. As a rookie, 20.7 points a game, 8 rebounds a game. Again, as a rookie, guys, and her shooting was very efficient, 46% from the field, right? She was a player who just sort of played in her bag. At the end of A'ja's rookie season, she was the Rookie of the Year. She made the All-Rookie team. Made a lot of sense, right? She was very, very good. She was showing really good signs of a player who's going to be a great pro in the W. She followed that up her second season in the W with dealing with some injuries, but ultimately that year she finished with 16.5 points a game, 6.4 rebounds a game, and 1.7 blocks a game. And she followed that up again in 2020 in the Wubble. Guys, this was not a normal season for the WNBA. In the Wubble, there was less games all around. But in that season, she averaged 20.5 points a game, 8.5 rebounds a game. Once again, she still had a block party, 2 blocks a game in that season. And yeah, she made the all defensive second team in 2020. She was on the all WNBA first team that year. And guys, that year was when A'ja Wilson received her first MVP for the WNBA. She definitely was sort of the shining star in the bubble for her team. And yeah, she looked good. And so she deservedly so won the MVP that year. She followed that up after the wobble is over, or back to regularly scheduled business in the WNBA, 18.3 points a game in 2021. She flirted with the double-double, ultimately finished with 9.3 points a game. Or 9.3 rebounds a game, I should say. 2022, 19.5 points a game, 9.4 rebounds a game. Last year, and also I should say in 2022, A'ja Wilson also won the MVP that year as well. She was the defensive player of the year that year as well. So 2022, not only was A'ja scoring, but defensively she continued to get to over the years at South Carolina. Also, early years in the WNBA, A'ja Wilson continued to get better and better and better at defense, and to the point where it was like clear cut. Not only is A'ja Wilson an elite offensive power, but she is an elite defensive force as well in the WNBA, and she did win the Defensive Player of the Year in 2022, all defensive first team. She was the MVP. She just sort of did a little bit of everything for her team to find some success. And in 2022, the Las Vegas Aces were able to finally win their first championship of the WNBA. And A'ja Wilson was a huge, huge, huge part in that. All right, we go one more year. So A'ja Wilson, she's coming off an MVP season, Defensive Player of the Year season. She won the WNBA championship. She's flying high. But guys, the thing to know about A'ja Wilson is even though she has seen a lot of success and whatnot, that girl don't stop grinding. She don't stop grinding, and she don't stop getting better. She worked hard in the offseason, got her body all set to go. And in 2023, A'ja Wilson had another phenomenal year. Ultimately, she finished that year with 22.8 points a game, 9.5 rebounds a game, 2.2 blocks a game, and she shot an extremely, extremely efficient 55.7% from the field. I'm just saying, guys. I am just saying A'ja Wilson had an even better year than the year that she won the MVP. A'ja ultimately finished in second place in A'ja ultimately did not win the MVP for 2023, but she had a phenomenal season. And arguably, she should have been the MVP for 2023. It went to Breanna Stewart. In my opinion, it should have went to Alyssa Thomas, but I did see a lot of people, and I do think they have a good argument for A'ja Wilson to have won last year as well. But she did not. She did not win. She even got a fourth place vote, which is like actually kind of wild that she got that. But A'ja Wilson took her MVP regular season title. She took that. She took the WNBA championship and was like, "Yep, I can do better," and she did. She was phenomenal in 2023. Her mid-range was mid-ranging. She was able to get to the basket at will. She was a lot better off the dribble. She was a player who was evolving in front of our eyes. She looked a lot confident as a player, and she looked like she wasn't gonna take no mess. She looked like she was like, "Nah, I'm here. I know what I can do, and I'm gonna tell y'all. And if y'all don't give me the respect, I'm going to make you respect me." And that's the making of an all-time great right there. I'm just saying. In 2023, A'ja won the Defensive Player of the Year once again. As I said earlier, she did not win the MVP, but she got her team to the WNBA Finals again And for the second time in a row, A'ja Wilson won the MVP. She won the WNBA championship, and she was honored with the Finals MVP in 2023. So again, Player of the Year in college. She won the NCAA championship in college. Most impactful player, right? Goes into the WNBA, starts to build, Rookie of the Year. Starts to really, really hone in on her defensive game. Wins a couple of Defensive Players of the Year. She gets her team to the finals twice. Or she gets her team to win the WNBA championship twice. She wins one Finals MVP, 2 regular season MVPs. A'ja Wilson, again, continuing to fly high. And what did she do? Well, she took that 4th place vote as a little bit of disrespect. And A'ja Wilson was like, you know what? Maybe I haven't really fully introduced myself. Maybe I haven't fully told y'all what I'm about. I know I've given y'all crazy stats. I know I've won these awards, but some of y'all are still playing on my name. Some of y'all are playing on my name, and I need to tell y'all who I really am. And guys, in 2024, this year, A'ja Wilson has just dominated, guys. Let me just sort of go through the stats real quick. Let me go through the stats for her real quick, because if you thought last year's A'ja Wilson was great, if you thought 2022 version of A'ja Wilson was great, if you thought the 2020 version of A'ja Wilson was great, if you thought maybe the South Carolina version of A'ja Wilson in 2017 was great, you ain't got nothing on the 2024 version of A'ja Wilson, guys. A'ja Wilson this year is averaging 27.3 points a game, guys. 11.9 rebounds a game. 2.3 assists a game. 1.9 steals a game. And a whopping 2.7 blocks a game. Guys, what are we talking about here? We're talking about a player who just continues to get better and better and better and better and better, and is forcing people who don't like to talk about who don't want to talk about A'ja Wilson. She's forcing them to talk about her because she's so good. She is so good. In my opinion, she is the unanimous MVP. That is my opinion. Will she be the unanimous MVP? Probably not. She should be, though, in my opinion. She is definitely a huge favorite for the Defensive Player of the Year. In my opinion, she is the outright favorite, but I don't think that's going to be unanimous. I think it's going to be it's some competition there for Defensive Player of the Year. So in my opinion, definitely MVP this year. Definitely first team WNBA. Definitely all defensive team, first team, and the favorite for Defensive Player of the Year. A'ja Wilson she's huge. She is a player who is extremely confident in her game. She is a player who expects excellence from not just herself, but for her team. And she's rocking out, guys. She's absolutely rocking out. She's just doing a great job. And I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to give her just due, because I think there's a lot of times we don't talk about greatness when we're seeing it, and guys, we're witnessing greatness. And A'ja Wilson, not only does she have awesome stats, but also, guys, last night A'ja Wilson, she surpassed the record. All right, so A'ja Wilson is once again in the history books. She said in the past she's trying to kick Candace Parker out of the history books, because Candace Parker, when you talk about the history of the WNBA, Candace Parker's in everything because she's done everything. But A'ja Wilson is about to get to that point. A'ja Wilson last night in a game, it was the Las Vegas Aces versus the Indiana Fever. A'ja Wilson, not only did she drop 27 points after being in a boot in the last game, not only did she do that, she was in the boot on Sunday. She got out of the boot and was able to play yesterday against the Fever. Not only did she drop 27 points, but guys, in the first quarter, A'ja Wilson, it was 4 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the first quarter. Asia Wilson ended up tying Jewell Loyd for the single season record, guys. She tied the record, 939 points in a single season. Jewell Loyd had hit that last year. Asia Wilson, 4 minutes and 13 seconds left to go in the first quarter of yesterday's game. She hit a free throw, got that. All right. Then we fast forward a couple minutes. It's 26.4 seconds left to go in the first quarter, in the first half, I should say, in the first half. Asia Wilson goes for a jumper, drains it, and officially moves into the lead as the player with the most points in a single season. Guys, that moment, unfortunately, did not have any fanfare around it. The play-by-play people didn't call it at the time. They didn't say the history that we were seeing, witnessing with our very eyes. They didn't say it. I don't think that because the game was done in Indiana, so they had the Indiana play callers there. Unfortunately, this was a moment that should have been recognized, in my opinion. Yes, this was the competitors' play-by-play people, but they should have recognized that, and they should have acknowledged it. I think that was a huge miss, a huge loss for people to be literally witnessing history, and there was no acknowledgement real time about it. But, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, Asia Wilson ultimately finished that game with 27 points. 27 points. Ultimately, when the game was over, Asia ultimately is not that far away from reaching 1,000 points. She is 44 points away from 1,000, which again has never been done in the WNBA. Never been done, guys. I want to just sort of put this in perspective about like what Asia Wilson is doing. Like literally, no one's ever done this. No one's ever gotten to a point where they are almost at 1,000 points for the WNBA. It's never happened, guys. Never happened. Not only does she have a whole bunch of points, not only does she have 956 points on the season so far, not only does she have that, guys, but she also has just been leading the charge for her team. She has scored more than 20 points. She has scored 20 points or more 32 times this season. All right, 32 times this season, she has scored 20 points or more. There's been 35 games that she's played so far. All right, so only 5 games this season has Asia scored less than 20 points. I've said it before, I say it again. A bad game for Asia Wilson is a very, very good game for everybody else. That's just how great she is. Her mid-range be popping. She be dropping them things. She gets to the foul line because she does get fouled. I know a lot of times some people want to be like, oh, Asia Wilson gets to the foul line too much. Guys, because she gets fouled and she's earned the fact that the refs are finally going to call fouls. All right. In the WNBA, sometimes you gotta earn those foul calls. You have to be in the league for a while and get the respect of the refs where they finally call stuff that actually is fouls. Asia had her 9th career double-double with at least 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 0 turnovers, guys. This is the 9th time she's done that. 25 points, 10 rebounds, 0 turnovers. There are only 2 players in the entire WNBA history who has ever done that. Lauren Jackson and Breanna Stewart, guys. She's great, She has scored in double digits in 48 games straight. This is the longest active streak in the WNBA, guys. It's just what Asia Wilson is doing. It's just historic in a lot of ways. It just is. And again, a lot of people don't talk about it. I don't talk about it enough. We should talk about it more. If you want to see the next person The next person up from that list is Sabrina Ionescu with 36. A'ja Wilson, 48 straight games with more than, with double digits, with more than 10 points. All right. Next closest is Sabrina Ionescu with 36. What I'm trying to prove, guys, is that A'ja Wilson is leaps and bounds better than anybody else in the WNBA. She is. And I'm trying to prove it with stats, because I know a lot of times people don't necessarily watch the games. If you watch the games, you know A'ja Wilson is by far the best player in the WNBA right now, and definitely is one of the best players we have seen in a long time in the WNBA. But for those who don't watch the games, I'm trying to appeal to your reasoning with stats. All right. Yeah. So I'm just saying. Not only is A'ja Wilson scoring like crazy, but guys, she is rebounding like crazy too. Yes. Right now, Angel Reese does have the single season record for rebounds a game, but A'ja Wilson's about to pass that. Because Angel is out for the remainder of the season, A'ja Wilson's going to pass that. Okay. She has 418 rebounds on the season. She only is 29 rebounds away from breaking Angel Reese's record. And she's going to break that. So A'ja Wilson, when it comes down to it, once this season is over, once the regular season is over, A'ja Wilson will have the record for most points in a WNBA season and most rebounds in a WNBA season. What are we talking about here? MVP, unanimous in my opinion. Not only is A'ja scoring like crazy, not only is she rebounding like crazy, also this girl is blocking shots like crazy, guys. Yeah. So A'ja Wilson had 3 blocks in yesterday's game. So she has a total of 94 blocks in her WNBA career. This is the 11th most blocks in WNBA history in a single season. So 94 blocks this season. And if you want to sort of put that in perspective of like ultimately what that means, the most blocks in WNBA history in a single season is Brittany Griner, who had 129 blocks in 2014. So A'ja's not going to hit that, I don't think. I think it's very impractical for her to hit that. But she's 11th on the list with 94 blocks on the season. She'd be saying, get that out of here, left and right, guys. I'm just saying. I'm trying to appeal to your sense of reason. All right. So 94 blocks this season in 2024. Last year she had 89 blocks. 2022, 70 blocks. And 2021, she had 40 blocks. So what a massive change that she's had on the blocking front. And it's her ability to block shots and her ability to steal the basketball that, in my opinion, makes her a definite candidate for a definite favorite, I should say, for Defensive Player of the Year. So yeah, guys, that's just sort of my ranting about just talking about like sort of trying to put this into context, what we are seeing by A'ja Wilson. We're just seeing historic numbers on the points front, on the rebounding front, and on the blocks front. She is definitely easing on up there. So, you know, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. She's kind of great. So, guys, that's kind of my ramble about the greatness of A'ja Wilson. Guys, I really do feel like in a lot of ways this season there's been a lot of focus on the rookies, and rightly so. The rookies are great. There's not been as much focus on the history in the making that we're seeing by A'ja Wilson. This video is sort of hopes to sort of do that, to sort of really talk about the greatness of A'ja Wilson, and to just sort of, for the folks who are not watching the Las Vegas Aces games, for you just to sort of understand what this means. I know there's people who are saying that, oh, the MVP race is not a clear-cut winner, and oh, there's some other players that should be listed in there, like Nafisa Collier, like Caitlin Clark, like others. No, guys, it's over. A'ja Wilson, she is the unanimous pick. Like, I understand that there are other players who are playing great basketball. However, what we are seeing from A'ja Wilson has never been done. Never, ever, ever, ever been done. So the argument of other people, to me, simply doesn't exist. I understand that people have their favorite players. I understand that you may watch only certain teams and you don't see truly what she is doing. But the race has been over. It has absolutely been over. Before break, the race was over, in my opinion. And now I'm hopeful that more people will see that the race is over, because we are literally witnessing history. We're witnessing history in front of our eyes. And the thing to know about A'ja Wilson is still a spring chicken. All right? She is 28 years old. So we got a lot more years to watch the greatness of A'ja. We do. So I'm just saying, this season, 27.3 points a game. Next year, she's going to average 30 points a game? Like what's she going to do? She keeps leveling up her game every single year. What's she going to do next year? I'm just saying. If you think this is bad, okay. All right, just wait a year. I'm just saying. She's forcing people to recognize her greatness. And she seems to be very confident in it. And she seems to be a great leader. Like, every time I hear somebody talk from the Aces talk about her, it's all like fantastic teammate, cares about her teammates and whatnot, and expects excellence. So much so that she's like, hey, I'm wearing white t-shirts for a while because our team is stinking it up and they need to play better. So I'm a lead by example, and I'm gonna wear a white t-shirt. I'm not gonna be this flashy person in the walk-ins for the games and whatnot. No, I'm gonna be plain Jane, and I'm about to ball on y'all. So I'm just saying. But guys, what do y'all think about the greatness of A'ja Wilson? Have y'all watched her play this season? Have y'all seen it in front of your very eyes? What do y'all think? Do you think she is the unanimous MVP? Let me know in the comments below. Also, what do y'all think about her defensive game? Like, is she Defensive Player of the Year in your opinion? I think she is. I think she wins both. But we'll ultimately see what happens. Guys. Yeah, just let me know. I'm very curious your thoughts, because there's just not a lot of talk about A'ja, and I myself can do a better job covering what her and the Aces are doing. It's sort of tough because they are on the West Coast, and so like post game recaps are a little bit tough for me because I usually can watch the game the next day, the next morning. I can't watch it that night or if I watch it that night, I'm falling asleep while watching it. But anyway, guys, that's the stream, or that's the video. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below about A'ja Wilson and just like the historic season that we're seeing. Let me know your thoughts about it. Also, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I make content all about women's basketball, so if that is your thing, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We are on our road to 30,000 subscribers. Will we get there? I don't know, but y'all can help me find out by hitting that subscribe button. Again, this has been me, Quita, talking about the greatness of A'ja Wilson, and I do welcome your feedback. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments. And until next time, guys, bye-bye.